On today's show, Samsung's new innovative smartphone might not be all it's cracked up to be. I'll tell you why some folks say their new whiz-bang foldable phone, well, it's a lemon. And what will the car of the future look like? Will it fly? Kia debuts their new concept car at the 2019 New York Auto Show, and get this, it knows when you're sad. It has this brand new Read technology that judges your mental state. Plus, we'll speak with an 18-year-old woman who's lucky to be alive, all thanks to her Apple Watch. Wait until you hear what her doctors discovered, because it wasn't her heart failing. And finally, in today's DIY security, 10 things you should never do online, or else the hackers and scammers will get you. And I bet you do at least a few things on this list that you need to stop right now. All this plus more digital know-how and, of course, your phone calls here on Komando. I remember visiting the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris just a few months ago. It was absolutely magnificent. It's so shocking to see the devastation from the recent fire. Now it's time to talk restoration. The cathedral is more than 800 years old, and the original blueprints are believed to be incomplete or maybe even just lost. Engineers need extremely detailed information to restore the cathedral to its former glory. Get this, a video game is actually saving the day. Now, if you look at games, it's like being in the middle of a movie today. The developers work to make you feel like you're actually wherever or whenever the game is set. And here's where the popular game Assassin's Creed Unity comes in. To make it more realistic, the game developers had to recreate Paris in the year 1789 during the French Revolution. Even during that period, the Notre Dame was already hundreds of years old. An artist working on the video game spent 2 years to create a precise, detailed 3D model of the cathedral to get every single brick, door, and gargoyle exactly right. She even sculpted an exact replica of the inside, too. Her work for the video game will be used to help in the restoration process. And how cool is that? Even better, if you want to see it for yourself, the makers of the game will let you download it for free. You can find the link over at our website, komando.com. And the video game is only part of the puzzle, though. There might not even be anything left to rebuild if it hadn't been for a robot doing its part in saving the cathedral. Yeah, a lot of people are concerned that robots are eventually going to replace them and take their jobs. But think about this. Sometimes the robots can do things to keep others safe, like going places where it could be deadly for firefighters. When the fire was raging at the cathedral, the firefighters were joined by an 1,100-pound robot named Colossus, even though it looks more like Wall-E from the Pixar movie. Colossus can take the place of 3 people to carry the water, and then another 10 to handle all the hoses controlled by a joystick about 1,000 feet away. Colossus can shoot more than 660 gallons of water per minute, and this robot showed up just in the nick of time. When Colossus was put into action, fire officials said the cathedral was 15 to 30 minutes away from total destruction. Think about that for a sec. A robot is partially responsible for saving the cathedral, and a video game could be the key to its future. That might be an idea for the next best-selling video game all by itself. All right, before you buy anything next on Amazon, it's always a good idea to take a look at the reviews, right? And I'm sure you've seen quite a few cases where something looked just too good to be true because of all the glowing 5-star reviews. Well, if your gut tells you those 5-star reviews might be fake, research says your gut is right. The website Review Meta looked at 203 million Amazon reviews and found about 11% of them are as phony as a $3 bill. Yeah, some are just flat out fake, posted by the seller posing as a buyer. And in some cases, buyers are getting paid to sing the praises of a product that's probably not that good. Now, here's a coincidence. The surge in fake reviews began around 2015. That's the time when Amazon started allowing Chinese sellers onto the site. So here's what you need to watch out for. Make sure the reviews come from verified purchasers. Those buyers actually bought the product through Amazon, and they'll give you the real skinny. If the review is fat on praise but short on facts, it's probably a fake. A list of product features with no opinions, that's a fake one too. Now, here's a review you can believe. A verified purchaser had this to say about an Amazon protective case for Kindles. Got this for the mother-in-law for bath time, hoping it'd be crap. her Kindle would slip out and electrocute her. So far, this bloody thing is staying in one piece. All right, premeditated murder attempt aside, at least you know that's a pretty solid Kindle waterproof case. We know without a doubt now that Alexa is always listening to us, along with, a few thousand Amazon employees. How about a voice assistant created by Mark Zuckerberg and his empire at Facebook? Word has it they want the new smart assistant to be able to control their Facebook portal video chat and maybe VR headsets too. But seriously, can you imagine a Facebook smart speaker on the kitchen counter? And in other recent Facebook news, they've been asking users to verify their identity by having them sign in with their email address and email account passwords. All right, once you enter it all, Facebook would scoop up your entire list of email contacts from your address book. A rep for Facebook said the uploads were, quote, unintentional. Right. And Facebook also recently found millions of Instagram passwords stored in plain text, open for any of their thousands upon thousands of employees to see. And yeah, this is in addition to all those other open passwords I told you about last month. Facebook once again says they're fixing the problems, but you know as well as I do that there'll be another data breach, just like it soon, and another and another. You get the idea. I wouldn't just worry about my data being gathered by a Facebook smart speaker in my kitchen. I'd lock up the silver, too. And finally, some breaking news on breaking phones. You might want to hold off on buying the new Samsung Galaxy Fold before making its big debut to the public. Samsung's first attempt at the folding phone was pre-released to token reviewers. And wow, I'm glad I was busy. There are numerous reports that the Galaxy Fold broke within the very first day of use. We're talking serious screen problems, either actual screen damage or part of the screen just going black, never coming back on. Samsung says they're investigating, but they also say the damage could be caused by folks removing a protective plastic layer from the screen that's not supposed to be removed. Okay, yes, some of these reviewers removed the protective layer because it probably seemed like the right thing to do. I mean, when was the last time you purchased any kind of device that didn't have a plastic cover you weren't supposed to take off? So you dropped $2,000 on what's being called the next generation of smartphones, and all it takes to ruin it is a peel at the corner? Yeah, that sounds like some good quality workmanship. All right, sure, it's not as bad as Samsung's exploding Note 7s from a few years back, but this won't do any of them favors either. Think about it this way. Your mattress still works, even if you remove that tag you're not supposed to, and those usually cost a lot less. The Kim Komando Show is the nation's largest weekend radio show. We talk about everything digital. You can find us on over 400 top stations from coast to coast and around the globe on American Forces Network Radio. That's 177 different countries. And I love this. Every ship at sea gets the Kim Komando Show. Now, as a radio show, our callers are super important. And every single week, Andrew Babinski sits in the Kim Komando Show man cave, and you take our calls with such expert care and professionalism. And just now when I was thinking, do you remember when that guy called in because he wanted the best camera to capture ghosts?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
During the break, I presented that call to you. And you said, I don't know what to tell him. And I said, tell him to buy the Spooky 5000.
And he did. He wrote it down. He's like, Spooky 5000.
Great camera. But I do have some bad news.
Oh, I don't like bad news. Everything's happy in my world.
At the end of May,
yes,
BlackBerry Messenger is going away.
Dum, 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 dum.
They're going to shut it down because they say the only reason they're shutting it down is because most of their users have gone to different platforms.
Oh, really? It's like nobody's really using a BlackBerry anymore.
No. And
I don't know anybody who uses a BlackBerry.
I'm trying to stay on top of the news for you.
Thank you.
I found this story out on my MySpace page. One of my top friends posted it.
That was really there. I think you probably still have a MySpace page. I think I do too.
I check it every day.
We should probably like sign in at one point.
Every day.
And delete that. All right, MySpace. Hey, listen, we put together a really great show for you today. And next, we're going to put Andrew to work and take your phone calls here on Komando.
Be a caller on the Kim Komando Show. Call 1-888-825-5254. Live Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Welcome to New York. York.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome to Paris.
Welcome to your paradise.
Business or pleasure, One Flight International is connecting the world with Book a Jet, the badge. When time matters, just badge it. Simply enter your itinerary, select from over 4,000 private planes, browse interior photos, select, and pay. Whether you're traveling alone or with business associates or a romantic getaway, badge it on a luxurious private jet. What's your time worth? Badge it.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly. And that continued until I got my SoClean.
SoClean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your mask, hose, and reservoir.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. SoClean has been a lifesaver.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the SoClean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine. It has made that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Glyphosate, the primary ingredient in Roundup weed killer, was recently designated a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Call right now.
Call 800-866-0053. That's 800-866-0053.
You can Google anything, but to get my trusted advice, there's only one place to go. Visit my site, komando.com, whenever you need a digital hand. And the phone lines are open. 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And as always, there's Andrew Babinski. And Andrew, this next caller, she was in the news big time.
It's a celebrity.
Yes.
Well, the mother of a celebrity.
Well, I think the celebrity's in school.
Yes.
Okay, because he's only 14.
Right.
And so he discovered the problem in FaceTime.
That was like an international news story. I remember waking up one morning on listening to CNN, and they were talking about it, and they mentioned that the 14-year-old that discovered it was from Arizona.
Yes. And he was actually playing Fortnite.
Well, who isn't? I mean, if he's a teenager and he's in the United States, he's playing Fortnite.
And then they tried to get a hold of Apple. Let's talk to Mom, Michelle in Tucson, Arizona. Hi there, Michelle. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Hello.
So tell us, so your son was playing Fortnite, and what happened?
So he was actually trying to coordinate a game of Fortnite and placed a group FaceTime call. And his first friend hadn't yet picked up the phone. And I guess he was anxious, added his second friend before the first friend picked up. And the moment he added his second friend, he could hear the first friend, even though he hadn't picked up the phone. So the three of them were quite puzzled by it.
I'm sure.
Kept trying to recreate it and discovered that every single time they were able to get this to happen and essentially eavesdrop on the individual who didn't pick up the phone.
And then did you guys try to contact Apple, I understand?
Right. Well, first, my son, my daughter, and I, who all have iPhones, tried to recreate it. I, of course, wanted to verify this happened. Sure. And we took a little video because I couldn't believe what he had found. And then we tried to contact Apple all sorts of different ways over the next, 10 days or so.
All right. So any reply at all?
Well, after almost 2 weeks passed, that's when a news story broke about, this bug. And I thought, wow, we found it 2 weeks ago. We haven't heard from Apple. And someone found my original tweet, and then Apple did ultimately contact us after essentially the news, story went viral.
I see. And then did your son Grant get a bounty?
So So my son did get a reward that goes towards his education. We did have to sign a confidentiality agreement on the details about it, but we're certainly grateful for Apple.
So, hey, Michelle, thanks for sharing your story with us. Now, you guys, because you're in Tucson, come up to Phoenix some Friday and see us at the show.
Would love to do that.
Thank you so much. And so, bottom line here is that sometimes you can make money playing video games, right, Andrew? Is that the moral of the story? I think so. Here at the Kim Komando Show, we have a lot of data that needs to be stored. We use Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. When most enterprises think of cloud storage, they think of companies like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. This is a costly mistake. Yes, companies like Microsoft and Amazon, they've been doing it a long time, but that's exactly the problem. Their technology is last generation. Wasabi is next generation cloud storage that's 80% cheaper and up to 6 times faster than the better known brands. Unlike Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, data storage is all Wasabi does, and they're experts in it. It's their passion. They truly understand the needs of enterprise, so they don't have things like egress fees. Companies don't know at the start of the year how much they're going to need to access their storage, so if they're getting charged to get their data back, it makes it impossible to budget. So Wasabi just doesn't have those fees. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com. Back to the phones we go with Chris in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hi, Chris.
Good afternoon. I'm a detective in this town.
What do you specialize in?
Well, the division and unit that I work in, we specialize in shootings and robberies and rapes and that type of crime.
Oh, okay.
But recently, there was a message that went around that there were subjects calling, targeting the elderly on the phone and telling them that they were the police and they were identifying themselves as a local police officer with a local agency. They were even telling them that they needed to send them so much money and by via a cash card or a Google card or a
iTunes gift card. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and if they didn't, they were going to have someone come pick them up right then and take them to jail. It's just kind of a sad day when you have people impersonating, law enforcement and taking money from the elderly.
When this happened, you that's when you said you got interested in like these type of robocalls and scam calls and things like that?
Exactly. And when this guy had it done to him, it was done on a cell phone, and it was through one of the major providers that I won't disclose. But anyways, we traced that, and we traced it to, and maybe you heard this or didn't, traced it to a prison in the southern United States.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's, what.
Yeah.
So they're in our prison where we have criminals. They have access to phones and spoofing so that this way they can rip more people off.
It's just crazy. About once we, even myself and law enforcement, we hear things that we just can't believe. We're like, really? You have inmates holding clinics inside of a prison on how to scam the elderly and call them on their contraband cell phone.
Nice.
And it's sad. But unfortunately, they've kind of stepped up in technology, and then just here, this is kind of a cycle. They'll hit our area of the state for maybe 2-3 weeks, and then come back in 8 months and do it again. And each time they got a little bit different technology. Currently, they're using a VoIP line, a voiceover line,
right,
or they're actually spoofing our actual sheriff's department line. So when it comes up on your phone, it says Allen County Sheriff's Department.
It does. People will fall for that. They'll look legit. Now the problem, it's good news for criminals, but it's bad news for honest people. Is
Correct.
That you can't figure out who's really behind it. Last week on the show, I spoke with a woman by the name of Linda Webster. Okay, a very smart, astute Washington, D.C. woman who's married to Judge Webster, okay? You may not remember William Webster's name, but he is the former head of the FBI and the CIA.
Okay.
He has a big job. He had a big job. Anyway, he got robocalled, and the robocaller threatened to kill him.
Wow.
And the robocaller told the judge, the former head of the FBI and the CIA, what kind of house he lived in Washington, D.C. He actually got a phone call from his grandson that said,
Hi, Grandpa, this is Bobby. I need $500.
He went down to Western Union and was about to ready to send a scammer $500. I mean, this is a guy who's smart, right? But he's older and he's gullible. Because when he was in his prime, none of this crap happened. And to tell people about if they do get any calls, they go to the letter I, the letter C, the number 3.gov, the Internet Crime Complaint Center. The FBI actually gave the judge a phone that they recorded the phone calls from, and they were able to track this guy down in Jamaica. When the Jamaican guy was headed to New York City on a trip, guess who was there to meet him at the Big Apple right there off the plane? The FBI. He's now in jail.
Coming up next, Kim Komando and myself go head-to-head for another fabulous edition of Brand New or Not True.
Like many other companies, we create a lot of data, and all that data needs to be stored somewhere safe. It was starting to get pretty expensive, and then we discovered Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. It's so affordable, it blows away all other forms of cloud storage. Less than just the annual maintenance cost of on-site storage. Wasabi is at least 80% less expensive than Amazon S3, with no charges for API requests. Wasabi's lightning fast. On average, it's 6 times faster than Amazon S3. When we need to retrieve a show from storage, it's almost instant. Unlike other companies, they don't charge me to get my own data. We don't have to guess what we'll be spending on storage each year. Because it's so fast and cheap, they have just one tier of service. Compare that to Amazon's S3, which you need a PhD in cloud storage to figure out what tiers to use and when. Wasabi's been a game changer for us. You can learn more and even try it for free at wasabi.com.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome to Paris. Welcome to your paradise.
Business or pleasure, One Flight International is connecting the world with Book a Jet, the badge. When time matters, just badge it. Simply enter your itinerary, select from over 4,000 private planes, browse interior photos, select, and pay. Whether you're traveling alone or with business associates or a romantic getaway, badge it on a luxurious private jet. What's your time worth? Badge it.
Attention diabetics. If you or a loved one took Invokana, Jardiance, or any other SGL2 inhibitor drug and were later diagnosed with Fournier's gangrene of the genitals, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. Call right now.
Call 800-664-4540. That's 800-664-4540.
Hey, let me tell you, if you like our TV show, you're going to love our radio show podcast. Get all 3 hours on your time, on your schedule. Head over to getkim.com. That's right. It's time now for Brand New or Not True. We are in week 3 of our 13-week stretch. So if you're just joining us, every week Andrew and I, we've been swapping places. It's now Andrew's turn to try to see if I can lose or win. And last week I lost. And so now you're up 2-1.
Yes, and if I win, you will have to drive a car that doesn't have the horsepower of your current vehicle. And you have to drive that car for an entire work week.
I don't know if I can do that. I have to go on the 101. And if you don't drive 95 miles an hour on the 101, they flip you off.
Yeah, well, get ready to see a lot of birds.
If you lose...
I have to get on a small plane that will fly me to Sedona for breakfast, where I will meet you there. Here's the reason why. People are like, well, that sounds like a prize. I have a very, very substantial fear of flying. Product number 1.
All right.
The Tipsy Test made by Afterlight.
Wait, Tipsy Test?
Correct. Have you ever thought someone was drunk just by looking at them? Sure, Gary Busey, Lindsay Lohan. That's too easy, though. And actually, I consider that cheating. There's an iPhone app called the Tipsy Test that tests your blood alcohol level by simply examining a selfie. They use bloodshot eyes, pale or flushed skin, droopy eyelids. If you have a male genitalia drawn on your face in magic marker,
probably a good sign that you're drunk.
It will be able to determine if you're drunk. The makers of the app say the selfie if it does find out that you are drunk, they recommend you use a ride-sharing service.
Can I Google anything while you're talking?
You definitely can't. Put your phone down.
Okay.
Cheater. If it does say you're drunk, they recommend you use a ride-sharing service to get home.
Oh.
If you're home, they recommend you just pass out on the floor.
Okay.
That is free in the Apple iTunes store.
Okay.
Product number 2, home harmonization.
Wait, home harmonization?
Correct, by Crest Tech.
Crest Tech?
Yes, you're being really picky here, and repeating what I'm saying right after I say it is a bit intimidating.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm getting this right, because it's not Crestron,
No.
it's Crest Tech.
Correct. Home automation, all the rage right now, but there's a big security issue. Some households are not putting home automation devices because of the fear that it's listening in on your conversations. It does have to listen for the trigger words like Siri or Alexa or Google, but this product solves that problem because it's not listening for words. It's listening for songs.
For songs?
La, 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 la. Your lights turn on. La, 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 la. Your garage closes. You sing to activate the system's devices. The only thing you'll have to worry about is if you're listening to Buster Poindexter's Hot, 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 it'll turn on your heater in the middle of July. This product is available for $199.
99 cents or just flat?
$199.
Okay.
Product number 3 from KFC. The only way to sell a product in 2019 to young people is to do it through Instagram. But KFC is not interested in hiring Kylie Jenner or
You're talking about
Kardashian.
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Correct.
Okay.
No, but they are going to use an influencer to sell their product, an influencer that they made up. They're turning the Colonel into a young, hot millennial. Harold Sanders has a gray hipster beard, tattoos on his six-pack, and already has 1.3 million Instagram followers. Pictures of him riding a horse, riding a private jet with his friends laughing, or making some fried chicken in his New York apartment are already getting thousands of likes. Word is, he's best friends with Carl's Jr. and hooking up with Wendy. This is a brief promotion. His thank you for the laugh. His Instagram account is going down April 21st. So your 3 options are a tipsy test, iPhone app, home harmonization from Crest Tech, or KFC's made-up influencer.
Wow, this is a tough one.
One is true, 2 are completely false.
Okay, I think the Crest Tech is completely false.
All right, the home harmonization?
So I'm going to take that one out.
Wrong.
The tipsy test. A selfie. To see
She's
if
so
you're
focused.
drunk.
I wish everybody could see her. She's so focused right now.
She's bobbing back and forth.
She's rocking in her chair. Wapner's at 4.
A KFC, the hot millennial. Give me a clue.
All right, one of them is correct. The other is false. So you did eliminate a wrong answer. Which one is true?
I think, oh God, this is so hard.
It's only a 3-hour show, Kim.
Can I ask the people in the chat room?
No, answer the question.
I think that I'm going to go KFC.
You're saying KFC is correct?
The young hot millennial.
You nailed it.
Whoa! Yes!
Congratulations.
Phew, that was getting close there. All right, well, now we have to take a look at the scoreboard to see what we have.
We are now tied 2-2.
Animatronic characters have been a Disney fixture for half of a century. But wait until you see their newly unveiled Stuntronics robot. Crazy tech next here on Komando. You can 3D print everything from a drink coaster to an unsmashable guitar. And now, what's being called a major breakthrough, a human heart. You see, a team of scientists at Israel's Tel Aviv University 3D printed a heart, but it doesn't yet do that key thing that hearts are supposed to do, which is pump blood. Well, let me explain. Just like a regular printer uses ink, scientists used a human patient's tissues, stem cells, and collagen in a specialized 3D printer to create the heart. Now, because they're using the patient's own tissues and cells, this definitely reduces the risk of the heart rejecting after a transplant. Although the heart is small, this one's about the size of a rabbit's. The 3D printed heart has cells, blood vessels, ventricles, and chambers. The heart can contract, but it can't make the full pumping action yet. They say in 10 years, experts are predicting that our hospitals will have something called organ printers. And I'm hoping that by then their printer won't jam up like mine does back at home. Seriously, it sounds like these scientists have their hearts in the game. All right, that's not the only artificial heartbeat on the horizon, because you might get one for your car too. Oh, and your car might know what kind of day you're having. You see, at the 2019 New York Auto Show, Kia unveiled its new concept car called the Habanero. Now, I could get all into the gearhead specifics, like how it'll be part electric and part autonomous and what car the future isn't. But the really interesting part about this small car is what's inside. You see, the Habanero uses Kia's new real-time emotion adaptive driving system, or what they're calling READ for short. You see, using artificial intelligence and advanced technology, the car's system picks up certain vibes that you're giving off, so the car knows how you're feeling. So if you're down in the dumps, the car will change the interior lighting colors to try to lift your spirits. Now, if you're in a great mood, the sunroof will open, the windows go down, and the stereo will blast Pharrell Williams' song, Happy. You'll even get mood lighting from the floorboard, too. Now, on the outside, the daytime running lights are supposed to pulse like a heartbeat. Kia hasn't said when the car will be available to purchase. All right, I have a question for you. What do you call a Kia with a push-button start? No Kia. All right, get ready for some brand new attractions at the Disney parks. Now, have you ever seen Disney's Country Bear Jamboree? Depending upon how you look at it, it's either amazing or creepy to watch 18 animatronic hillbilly bears sing during a 16-minute foot-stomping celebration. Yes. All right. Coming soon to Disney parks are robots that look like Iron Man flying overhead. They have a special name, Stuntronics. And boy, are they loaded with a ton of new technology. You see, when Disney does something, they just absolutely perfect it. The Stuntronics 90-pound robot is almost 6 feet tall and has all kinds of upgraded tech just built in, including a gyroscope and accelerometer. This robot can perform complex acrobatic stunts with its sophisticated onboard sensors. It makes real-time decisions on its own while flying 60 feet in the air. It knows when to tuck its knees to perform a somersault, when to pull its arms in to do a twist, and when to even slow down its spin to make sure that it sticks to that perfect landing. Robots may not be going after everyone's job, but if I was Iron Man, I'd be a little worried. And speaking of the future, I just can't wait for this next advancement to happen. You see, I use Amazon Prime a lot. You hop online, you point and click at what you need, and get your groceries delivered in just a few hours. The problem doing your grocery shopping online is that you can't pick out, say, your own produce or see what's now in the store. Maybe I need to move to Paris because this sounds so cool. About 3 years ago, Amazon Prime Now started making food deliveries in Paris. And stores there, they don't like it one bit. One French supermarket says they have the solution to being competitive with Amazon Prime Now. Robots. Imagine. You go to the grocery store and you smile at a robot about the size of a big drink cooler on wheels. The robot has built-in facial recognition technology. It knows who you are. It follows you all around the store. You load the robot up with all of your groceries. Now, here's the really fun part. When you're done shopping, the robot follows you home down the street with all your groceries. You unload your groceries, and then the little guy just zooms right back to the store. Now, right now, they're testing it in the 13th district in Paris. So in case you're there, you might see this all happening in action. And forget the force. May the shopping be with you. All right, next, we're going to speak with an 18-year-old woman who credits her Apple Watch for saving her life here on Komando.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome to Paris. Welcome to your paradise.
Business or pleasure, One Flight International is connecting the world with BookAJet, the badge. When time matters, just badge it. Simply enter your itinerary, select from over 4,000 private planes, browse interior photos, select, and pay. Whether you're traveling alone or with business associates, or a romantic getaway, badge it on a luxurious private jet. What's your time worth? Badge it.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly, and that continued until I got my So Clean.
So Clean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your CPAP equipment.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. So Clean has been a lifesaver.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the SoClean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine. It has made that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Glyphosate, the primary ingredient in Roundup weed killer, was recently designated a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization. Call right now.
Call 800-866-0053. That's 800-866-0053.
Phone lines are open. 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And as always, there's Andrew Babinski in the Kim Komando Show Man Cave. But Andrew, this first caller is a little bit different.
Yes, this is Deanna. She is from Tampa, Florida. And she's got an amazing story.
Now, I actually read this story. I read it, and because, as you know, I have become a big Apple Watch fan. Okay, you thought, how many days would I keep the watch?
No more than 14.
Okay, why do you say that?
Because that's how new things in your life usually come and go.
They just like they come in and then they leave.
This thing is great. Remember your smart water bottle?
I love that smart water bottle.
Where is it?
Well, after a couple of weeks, it just wasn't that smart anymore. Okay.
So that's why.
I mean, plus, I did some more research about the smart water bottle, and they did a lot of tracking.
Oh, well, that's fine. Don't worry about that.
It's not a big deal.
No.
But so when I got the watch, I really thought, you and Mike were probably right. It wasn't something that I'd really like.
And when you first got the watch, the first Apple Watch, you got rid of. And then you got the next year's, and that's the one you're actually sticking with.
Yes, and I gave the first one to, he was so excited. The little boy was at our house, friend of the family. And I said, you need an Apple Watch. And he said, oh, yes, I do. And I said, here's mine. It was like a hand-me-down, but he still wears it. I saw him last week. So the new Apple Watch does a lot of whiz-bang things, right? You can take your own ECG and things like that. But the big thing is that it's wearable technology that can have a difference on our lives. And it's not just a difference on our lives. We're talking about difference between life and death.
And that is Deanna's story.
And Deanna in Tampa, Florida. Hi there, Deanna.
Hi.
Welcome. So as I understand, you were sitting in church. Tell us what happened.
Yes, I was sitting in church, and my Apple Watch had alerted me that my heart rate was elevated, and it was actually at 190 beats per minute.
Wow.
And so,
okay, wait. 190 beats per minute. Did you feel that?
I mean, I felt a little weird, so that's when I went to my mom and have her check it, because it was like really high for a watch to alert it.
Yeah, I mean, because, just sitting down, your resting pulse is probably like, between 60 and 70, 50 and 70, somewhere in there. And now your mom is a registered nurse.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us what happened.
So I had her check it, and the watch had said seek medical attention. And so I showed her the watch, and she checked it by, hand and her 2 fingers on my wrist and just watching the clock. And it matched the watch. Like, it matched the amount of beats that said on the watch. And
so what's interesting is that it wasn't that you were having, like, heart issues per se. I mean, you were. But when she took you to the ER room, the Apple Watch actually identified another diagnosis, right?
Yes. That's when I later found out that I was in kidney failure.
Wow. And now, did you have any idea at all that anything was going on?
None at all. I was actually rather active, and I was always doing stuff. So it never really took a toll on my body because of how active I was and how strong my body was.
Wow. And so did they give you like a percentage of kidney failure that you were in at that time?
Yes, I was at 20% kidney failure.
Wow, that is something. Okay. And so obviously, then they start taking care of you, but it was because of the Apple Watch that you were wearing and that sudden accelerated heart rate just sitting in church. I mean, and what's going on today?
Well, I finally got my date for my kidney transplant, which is June 20th. So I have a couple more dialysis treatments left, and then I'll be getting my new kidney.
And who's the donor?
A family friend that we knew for a while, that she actually moved to Alabama. She's donating to me, and she's 21.
Wow. You know what? You are so blessed. You're so lucky.
I am very blessed.
That's pretty amazing that, because of the watch. Now, since then, do you ever take the watch off?
No. I got the new watch recently, and I have not taken it off yet. I wear it every single day.
Do you sleep with it?
No, I have to charge it at night.
All right, that's good. And plus, sometimes, you get a lot of those notifications too. And I also understand that Tim Cook from Apple reached out.
He did.
And what happened?
He just reached out and was saying that my story inspired the Apple company to keep improving on their Apple Watches and their Apple phones and all that stuff.
So now, because of this cross between technology and medicine, has it influenced what you want to do in the future?
Yes. I always wanted to be a nurse, but ever since, I just want to keep on going in the medical field. So I want to, see, with the technology, how they can, intertwine.
Well, and it certainly will, and it will certainly continue to intertwine. I mean, the medical profession and wearable technology is just growing like crazy. And as you get the transplant, would you please keep in touch with us? Because I want to hear the rest of the story, and I want to know what you're going to do. And if you ever get to Phoenix, you must, Deanna, you must come over and say hello to us at the show. You promise?
I promise.
You got it. God bless you. And again, thank you so much for your call. Next, our DIY security tip, 10 things you should never, ever do online. Next, here on Komando.
Be a caller on the Kim Komando Show. Call 1-888-825-5254. Live Fridays, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or send your questions and comments to askkim@komando.com.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome to Paris. Welcome to your paradise.
Business or pleasure, One Flight International is connecting the world with Book a Jet, the badge. When time matters, just badge it. Simply enter your itinerary, select from over 4,000 private planes, browse interior photos, select, and pay. Whether you're traveling alone or with business associates or a romantic getaway, badge it on a luxurious private jet. What's your time worth? Badge it.
If a dirty CPAP is making you sick, you're not alone.
I was getting sinus infections because I wasn't cleaning my CPAP properly, and that continued until I got my SoClean.
SoClean is the world's first automated CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. It kills 99.9% of all CPAP germs and bacteria that can build up in your CPAP equipment.
I don't have to push a button or anything. I just put the mask in the chamber, close the lid, and it runs automatically. SoClean has been a lifesaver.
SoClean works on all popular CPAP machines and masks. Try it risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 to take advantage of this limited time offer.
I would recommend the SoClean machine to anyone else. It is that good of a machine that has made that big a difference in my life.
Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. Even shipping is free. Call 1-800-561-3235 or go to SoClean.com.
Attention diabetics. If you or a loved one took Invokana, Jardiance, or any other SGL2 inhibitor drug and were later diagnosed with Fournier's gangrene of the genitals, call right now. You may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call Nightline Legal to speak with an experienced attorney for a free consultation. Call right now.
Call 800-664-4540. That's 800-664-4540.
Welcome to New York.
Welcome to Las Vegas.
Welcome to Paris. Welcome to your paradise.
Business or pleasure, One Flight International is connecting the world with BookAJet, the badge. When time matters, just badge it. Simply enter your itinerary, select from over 4,000 private planes, browse interior photos, select, and pay. Whether you're traveling alone or with business associates or a romantic getaway, badge it on a luxurious private jet. What's your time worth? Badge it.
All right, every week we put a digital life hack tip together for you. And so many of us are now getting our smart speakers, right? You have Alexa, Google Assistant, you have the HomePod, and news is that maybe Facebook's getting in the mix, which is just crazy. But one of the things that's a staple with listeners of the Kim Komando Show is what? We love radio, right? I mean, I can't tell you for how many years people have been predicting the death of radio. But look, here we are, actually growing year over year on radio. So if you have a smart speaker, how do you get your favorite radio stations and programs? Well, here, let me give you the inside scoop. First of all, they're the best apps for listening to radio. Of course, at the very top, there's iHeartRadio. It's been out there a long time. It's the app for music, radio, and podcasts. It's free. It works with your iPhone, Android, Fire, or Windows devices. It also works with a lot of smart connected car technologies like Chevy's MyLink and Mercedes Embrace Connect. You can find the app in iTunes or Google Play and just follow the step-by-step instructions to activate it. Next app we like is called TuneIn. It has access to 120,000 radio stations around the globe, and it works with Amazon, Sonos, Siri, Google Home. Same deal here as iHeart. You can find it wherever you get your apps. There's also Alexa Skills. And so the skills for listening to radio can tell it to activate the particular app. But a lot of radio stations are streaming content as well. So, for example, in Phoenix, you could say, stream KTAR live, and she'll play the Phoenix-based radio station for you right here in the hometown. It's also our hometown station here in Phoenix. And then there's Siri apps as well. We've got links to those and also some tips on how to use AirPlay that you don't want to miss because we broke it all out for you in step-by-step detail that you can tap into at the Kim Komando Show website. That address is, of course, KOMANDO.com. And once you're there, hit that Show Picks button right on the homepage. Now, if you like the Microsoft Surface, but you want something bigger, Microsoft says they have just the thing for you. It's the Surface Hub 2S collaborative display. Now, this isn't one of those displays that you're just going to tuck into your laptop bag. It's a 50-inch touchscreen PC. And the price tag means that you must really want this. It's going to run $9,000 just for the display. That's it. Then you want to tack on another $1,500 for the movable stand because you need that. And it does have features, 4K resolution. You can split the screen for video chats. And so if you have big meetings, it might be something. But I just heard you say something in the back of your mind, because I do have that ability, is that you said, Kim, 50 inches is great, but do they have something bigger? And the answer to that is yes. They have an 85-inch model. But for that, you have to drop $12,000. And then you can put four of them together so that this way you have this massive wall display. And that's going to set you back around, say $100,000 by the time you buy all the parts and pieces and cables and mounts and things like that. If you lose power, but you still need to have everything on the display, you can add a battery accessory. And that's going to cost you another $1,500. The 50-inch model ships in June, but you might have to wait for the 85-inch until next year. So that gives you all kinds of time to schedule meetings and spreadsheets so that you can justify buying one. And I don't know if you remember, but we had this self-lacing shoe craze last year that lasted for about, I think it was 10 days, 7 to 10 days. Nike's upgraded versions finally hit stores a couple of months back, and they were so high-tech that you could actually brick them. But because you could brick your shoes, you could actually tie the shoes the old-fashioned way, too. Well, Puma's rather getting in on the craze. It's not really a craze. But they're wanting people to beta test the Puma Phi self-lacing shoes. I know we have a lot of tech enthusiasts who listen to the Kim Komando Show. So between now and April 28th, you can put your name in the hat and apply through the Puma Track app or on their website. Just answer the questions, and if you're chosen, you will get to test out and give feedback on the shoes. Puma Phis have a motor built in that tightens the laces, They have companion apps. You can also charge your shoes wirelessly. I mean, could you just imagine, sorry, I can't go to gym today because I didn't charge my gym shoes. Nikes are in stores. The Puma 5s, when they come out, are going to be $330. All right, every week we put together for you a DIY security tip. And this week is something that I want you to look at and pay attention. But most importantly, I want you to share it with your family members and friends, especially those folks in your family who may not be all that security savvy, because there's a lot of hackers and scammers out there. And let's start at number one. Stop falling for fake posts online, okay? Not everybody's your friend. And what you want to do is open up your browser window and you want to search for a company name, and you want to use the word scam, for example, because if it's a scam promising you survey or money-making opportunities, somebody else has probably reported it. Also, number two, don't skip two-factor authentication. That's where it's kind of like you need to give another form of ID. Anyone who uses Facebook, you probably already have set up 2FA, but let me tell you, it's on a lot of your accounts, your Apple account, your Google account. If you haven't done it, make sure that you do it. Number three, don't reuse the same passwords or password formulas, because that's the way that, the hackers and the scammers and the bad guys can crack your accounts. You want to use a safe and secure password manager. Number four is tough. Don't use public Wi-Fi. Okay, we all use public Wi-Fi. But if you are using public Wi-Fi, make sure that you use a VPN too. Number five, you've seen it. Don't fight on social media. Just stop it already. I mean, it's ridiculous to go ahead and start airing all your family laundry right there out on where everybody can take a look at it. And don't break up with somebody on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or whatever, too. Number six, stop posting sensitive photos online. The photos of all your kids in your family, think about this 20 years from now, we don't necessarily maybe want those kids' photos out there. So why put them there right now? Number seven, pretty obvious, but people do it. They post all these vacation photos and they say, hey, I'm out of town, having a great time in the Bahamas. Meanwhile, guess what? You're not at home and leaving all your valuables. 8 is tough. Stop diagnosing yourself at WebMD and all these other sites. Stop typing in all these symptoms that come back and say that you have the dengue fever, and then you freak out all weekend until you can find your doctor. Number 9 is tough. 80% of women shoppers admitted to drunk shopping. That's right. So stop drinking and going online and buying stuff that you get 3 days later and you're like, what was I thinking? And finally, stop taking quizzes online, especially over at Facebook, because all it is just a way for them to gather more data about you. So again, there's probably a family member or friend. You probably know all of this because you're super smart because you listen to the Kim Komando Show. What I want you to do is to share this out on your social media so that this way more people know not to be making these dumb mistakes online. You can find a link to all of these, again, over at our website, komando.com. Just hit that show picks button and you got it all.
Standby control. Take it.
So what's the digital age doing to our attention span? Who has a longer attention span? See if you know this answer, a goldfish or a human being. The answer is coming up next here on Komando.
Data will be the fuel that powers innovations in healthcare, genomics, transportation, artificial intelligence, education, surveillance, even media and entertainment. There's no denying it. Data is now the lifeblood of every organization and is more valuable than ever. It's the key to harnessing the power of AI and machine learning to unlock future growth, new business models, and even entirely new industries. The biggest challenge now is how to store all that data affordably, reliably, and securely. What are your plans? Increasing on-prem storage is expensive, and you can't scale up forever. First-generation cloud storage solutions from Amazon, Microsoft, and Google cost as much as traditional on-prem solutions and are packed full of hidden fees that hold you and your data hostage. These solutions won't work. Your data center, your business, and your customers demand more. Enter Wasabi. Dave Friend and Jeff Flowers are the innovators behind numerous tech companies, including the cloud backup and market-leading data protection firm Carbonite, valued at over $1 billion. And now they've developed Wasabi Hot Cloud Storage. Game-changing, leading-edge technology affordably storing an infinite amount of data. It's an entirely new approach to cloud data storage, a bottomless cloud that grows with your business. Compatible with Amazon S3, 11 nines of durability, and data immutability. Safe, secure, and compliant. Wasabi is fast, up to 6 times faster than Amazon S3, and 80% cheaper, with no hidden egress fees or API request charges. You pay around $73,000 for a single petabyte of data versus up to $500,000 with traditional cloud storage solutions, plus data transfer fees and API call charges. Wasabi is cheaper than a year of on-prem storage annual maintenance fees, so you can save more data and leverage assets that you never thought possible. Data will determine your company's future success or failure. Can you afford to keep it? All of it? Wasabi is making data storage a commodity. Like electricity, you pay as you need it. It's always on and always available. Cloud storage is all we do, and no one does it better. It's time to join the movement. Take control of your data and take control of your future.
Thanks to the internet, think of all the news, articles, shows, content, ads, and videos you consume every day as compared to, say, 5 years ago. It's really no surprise that this constant information overload and stimulation is having a profound effect on our attention span. Researchers at the University of Denmark found that while people have many more things to focus on, they do it for a much shorter amount of time. And get this, globally, a viral video or trend now lasts about 10 hours. After that, we've all moved on to the next big thing. Just a few years ago, this was closer to 20 hours. So if you thought the digital age had affected your attention span, you're right. We're living in the tap era, as I say, of not just tech gadgets. We expect people, when we see them face to face, to respond instantly. We get frustrated when they don't. And according to Microsoft studies, it's gotten so bad that a goldfish has a longer attention span than a human being by 1 full second. Oh, look, squirrel. All right. Be sure to keep your digital know-how going. Find your local radio station that broadcasts my show, along with more DIY tips, videos, free newsletters delivered from me to your email address and ebooks on our website. That's komando.com, and thanks for watching.